Hi everyone, so today we're going to learn the chain stitch. So I've got some stranded cotton here. Again, I'm using all 6 strands for this one, and I've got probably about 35 or 40 centimetres here. So you're going to come up through the back of the fabric at the pointed end of this chain here. And the first part of doing a chain stitch is pretty much the same as you did for the lazy daisy. So you're going to go back down the fabric in the same place that you came up. And you're going to pull through, but you're going to leave a loop like that. Then you're going to come up at the start of the neck sort of leaf shape, the next kind of pointy bit. So you're going to come up through the fabric there, and then you're going to go through the middle of your loop. So come up and then hook your loop over. So you've come up through the middle of the loop, and then exactly the same as you did with the lazy daisy, you're going to pull through, and that will tighten the loop. Like that. And then you're going to carry on sort of doing that same thing. So I'm going to go back down in the same place that the cotton has come up. Pull through to leave a loop, come up at the start of the next little chain and hook your loop over, and pull through to tighten the loop. And there you go, that's how you do the chain stitch. So you just continue doing this to the end of the line. So back down again in the same place that you've come up. Doesn't matter if it's not in exactly the same place, it can be sort of just next to it. Pull through, leaving a loop. Come up at the start of the next little chain pattern and make sure it's looped, hooked over your loop. And pull through. Okay, and that's how it's looking so far. And then you can use the back of your needle to sort of move the cotton slightly and sort out the chain if you need to. Might be worth just waiting till the end to do that. So I'm going to carry on to the end of the line. So I'm just doing the last section of this little chain here. So go back down where you've come up. Pull through, leaving a loop, then come up at the end of the chain, through your hoop, and pull through. And then all you're going to do, exactly the same as you do with the lazy daisy, you're just going to go back down on the other side of the loop just to kind of tack it in place. So just back down on the other side of that final loop and pull through. And there you go, that's the chain stitch. And then I say you can use the blunt end of your needle to sort of widen the loops a little bit if you want to. Make the chain sort of slightly bigger. And then if you want to have a bit more of a practice, you can do these 2 chain stitches that lay next to each other. So you can do one going the same way as this one, and then one you have to work going the other way. So I've done another chain stitch here, exactly the same as we did this one. And then you're just going to do this last chain here, starting from the other direction. So I'm going to start from this end and just do it in exactly the same way, coming up at the pointed end. So you're going back down in the same place that you came up, and then just exactly as you did before, come up at the other end of the little chain shape through the middle of your loop. But tricky for me to do it this way filming it. So through the middle of that loop and pull through. And then you're just going to carry on this same process until you get to the end of the next chain. So you're just going to carry on that process until you get to the end of the next chain. And it's good practice laying 2 chains next to each other like this. It's a great way if you're stitching kind of clothing or something you want to look like knitting. The chain stitch is a great one to do. If you're doing baskets, so for the basket here we're going to use basket weave, but you could do chain stitch as well. We're going to do chain stitch for the handle here. So yeah, it's a really good one to practice laying sort of 2 or more chain stitches next to each other. So I'm just doing the last stitch here on this final chain. So I'm going to come up at the end. Make sure the needle goes through the centre of the loop. Pull through. And then you're just going to do exactly the same thing as we did previously. We're just going to go down on the other side of that loop. Just to make sure that final loop stays in place. And again, you can sort of use the back of your needle, the blunt end of your needle, to sort out the chains if you like. And there you go, that's the chain stitch.